Rico Rocks 2001 here. I thought I would do a comparison between the different variations of Super Mario Bros. 2. I've got the original NES version. I have the Super Nintendo and the Wii stacked on each other, or next to each other, because they're essentially the same game. The only difference is one is on cartridge form, the other is on disc form, if that makes any sense to you people. And then there's the Game Boy Advance version of Super Mario Bros. 2, which is called Super Mario Advance. In reality, this is the US release of Super Mario Bros. 2. In Japan, they call it Super Mario USA because Lost Levels, which is what it's called here in the US, is the real Super Mario Bros. 2. For those who don't know, the reason why the real Super Mario Bros. 2 did not hit stores in the US is because if you've ever played the Lost Levels, you'll understand it's challenging. Nintendo of America thought, okay, this game doesn't seem too easy. We're just going to repackage it and release something else for the US. And then we got Doki Doki Panic with Mario sprites. For those who don't know what Doki Doki Panic is, it's basically a game where the storyline is where these two kids read a book and then some giant hand grabs them and it's up to the heroes to rescue them. But it's essentially the same game, just without Mario sprites. But all the power-ups and stuff are practically the same. You've got the normal character Mario, you got Luigi the high jumper, you got the princess, or Peach, depending on what you like to call her, the one who likes to glide in the air. She's my favorite character of the four. And then you got Toad, who happens to be, well, the most worthless of the four. Other than that, it's essentially the same game, just with Mario sprites in the original, in the Mario version, and Doki Doki Panic with different characters. Also, the final boss isn't even Bowser. You got this toad guy or frog guy named Wart. He's the one who's behind kidnapping those two kids in the Doki Doki Panic. But in the Super Mario variation, they're just non-existent, or at least something like that. If you beat the game, in Doki Doki Panic, you rescue the two kids. But in Super Mario Bros. 2, that goes for all these, it just shows that Mario was dreaming of this game the whole time. Oh, and the interesting thing is, in Super Mario Bros. 2, this is the only game where you can play other than besides Mario and Luigi. You could also play as Toad and the princess, which is funny because in Super Mario Bros. 1 and 3, at least in all countries, you can't play as Toad or the princess because they were captured by the evil Bowser, or King Koopa, or whatever you like to call him. Here's the funny thing. One of my good friends here on YouTube is a huge Bowser fan, that being FaZe Doom Guy. Funny thing is, I actually kind of hate him. Bowser, not FaZe Doom Guy that I hate. But I'm sure you figure that out. Because if you know me very well, I'm a huge Princess Peach fan. But let's get back to the comparison. Sorry if I've been going off topic. I just had to explain the storyline. The original NES version is where it all started. Then in 1994, it was released in Super Mario All-Stars. I'll go over the Wii version in a moment. That was released in 2010. And in 2000, you got the Game Boy Advance version. I actually like the Game Boy Advance version the most, mainly because they actually fixed some problems that the other three had. Well, the first one specifically. The second one was slightly better. But that's like saying the original one is like having a little dental surgery without any anesthetic, but the Super Nintendo one is dental surgery with a little anesthetic. Not the strongest, but just enough to get you by the day. Again, Super Mario Bros. 2 is not a bad game, but compared to 1 and 3 and World, and maybe Yoshi's Island, it just sticks out like a sore thumb according to most Mario fans, is what they say. And I respect them for that. But other than that, the Game Boy Advance version, they had more power-ups. It's much easier to find health, and they also added a few bonuses in it as well. They added a coin feature if you collect them on the stages and what. Those are nice features they added in the Game Boy Advance version. So In conclusion, if you're after Super Mario Bros. 2, I'd recommend going for the Game Boy Advance version. But, in your opinion, which do you prefer? The original NES, the Super Nintendo / Wii version, or the Game Boy Advance version? Although I still recommend picking up Super Mario All-Stars whether you got a Super Nintendo or Nintendo Wii / Wii U. This will work on the Wii U, by the way. So other than that, thanks for watching. This is RicoRock2001 signing off. Sorry this video has been long. I just had to explain the storyline for Super Mario Bros. 2 and where the US version came from. So thanks for watching.